Final segment with James Delingpole. I'm going right to your calls. Your anger, what areas of the bill you hate the most, or if somebody calls in who agrees with it, we'd love to hear from you. We don't screen your calls. 1-800-259-9231. Ideas to beat this thing. The Democrats think you're going to forget about what's happened. They've said this. And that they're going to incrementally put it into place so that you don't feel the pain. They know it was unpopular. Over 70% of the country in polls against it. They don't care. And a lot of people are saying this has finally woken their eyes up, finally made them open their eyes and woken them up to be able to really understand that this is only the beginning. This is how tyranny works, James. I mean, you've studied tyranny. You studied history.
I was going to say, Alex, one book I read recently, I don't know whether you're familiar with it, a book by a Frenchman called Gustave Le Bon, The Crowd, it was called, A Study of the Popular Mind. And this book was written in 1895, and it was the first book to analyze the way a crowd thinks. And it was a big influence, this book, on both Hitler, Mussolini and Freud. So it's remarkably modern in its insights. And what this book says is that in order to manipulate a crowd, you must first understand that the crowd is only as clever as the most stupid person in it. So what you must do is not use logic or reason or anything like that. What you must do is repeat something over and over again until the crowd believes you. And this is what's happened with global warming, for example. We've got Al Gore with his propaganda movie, An Inconvenient Truth, his version of Triumph of the Will, where he says, the science is settled. And if you repeat this soothing phrase over and over again, the consensus says, 20,000 scientists say, et cetera, the world is heating up. What happens is that gradually this idea gets absorbed by the whole of society, and people start thinking, yes, we must do something, we must act. But what Gustave Le Bon also says is that there comes a point where the prestige of the demagogue who is spouting this nonsense, if that becomes threatened at any point, then his overthrow can happen very, very dramatically and very suddenly. And I think it is quite possible, the way people are understanding the global warming now, the way, listeners on your show, readers of my blog, I think we could be approaching this wonderful, pivotal moment where we see Al Gore swinging from a lamppost.
Absolutely. I mean, the bigger they are, the harder they fall. And this is an all-or-nothing exercise by this criminal class of collectivists that are becoming fabulously wealthy and powerful from this. And that's why they're so dedicated. That's why they've invested so much. And they know the score. And we see their fraud falling like dominoes. So now they're trying to trust in the police state and apathy to carry them through. But no tyranny has ever stood.
Well, carbon is CO2 is I think trading something like 10 cents at the moment. I mean, it's the carbon market has reached rock bottom, and of course you've got even the British Conservatives government, the Conservatives who are about to become the next government, unfortunately, who are saying yes, we must have a floor price on carbon in order to regulate the markets, blah blah blah. There are lots of people who are lots of rich, canny investors like Al Gore, like George Soros, who are very heavily exposed to the carbon trading market. But you can bet your bottom dollar, Alex, that there are also out there a lot of very, very clever investors who are backing backing quite the opposite. There are people out there who
shorting carbon.
Yeah, people out there who are going to make money by betting that the carbon market is going to fail. And I think those are the people who I think are making the right call. I reckon that this whole thing is going to collapse, but I do not think that they are going to be able to get away with imposing this global carbon tyranny on us all. That's what I'm praying for.
James Delingpole, thank you so much for spending time with us. Website, jamesdelingpole.com. We'll talk to you again soon. Thank you.
Thanks, Alex. Bye.
All right, final hour. Total blitzkrieg of info on healthcare. Stay with us. This is the fourth and final hour, the day after the treasonous, treacherous act by the House of Representatives. The bill is a done deal, a formality in the Senate, going to Obama's desk very, very soon. I want to hear your outrage or your support. I want to hear folks ideas to defeat this, to stop it. I'm going to take a bunch of calls right now, then I'm going to go over all the different facets and angles and a bunch of key points I want to make in this jam-packed final hour. Thank you so much for joining us. This is the collectivists trying to make you dependent on them and seizing another giant section of the economy and all the power and control that comes with it. Let's talk to Annie in Indiana. Annie, you're on the air.
Hi, Alex.
Hi.
I'm a senior citizen over 60, and I'm also a Texan in Indiana. I'm so old, I remember when you came on the air. That dates me, doesn't it? I'm familiar with some of the proposals in President Spectator's death care bill, and I was going to ask you if you know if these carried over. I have no reason to believe that it might have been taken out. I want to give you a quick scenario.
Go ahead.
Say I am over 60 and I'm in good health, have insurance. I'm hit in a car accident by an illegal drunk alien who has no health insurance, no car insurance that would provide me with any medical care. I have my own health insurance. I'm laying up with a broken body in the ER through no fault of my own. I have a broken leg and, say, my face is smashed up and I need eye surgery. It's my understanding that at any age, if I am not current in my vaccinations, immunizations, and including the swine flu shot, that I will receive no needed health care at all. My broken leg will not be set, and being over 60, I will receive no needed eye surgery, even if I do have current immunizations, and I will be allowed to go blind. Does that?
They did have specific areas in there previously. What they did was leave an open door to what they call comparative care, where with the big insurance companies and with the federal government, they will decide what care you get. And they use examples of women below 45 don't need a mammogram, or, you don't get a colonoscopy till you're 50. And, it sounds, kind of non-threatening. But it gives them the power to do all this. And we know what Europe's done. We know what Tom Daschle said, how this should be implemented. That, yes, they want to then let the bioethicist board decide that Annie doesn't really deserve all this extra care. That should go to somebody younger. And so they will be given liability protection. And yes, there were provisions. I don't know if they were in the new one. I haven't had time to read the 2,700 pages entirely, to where if you didn't have all your vaccinations and things, they could try to refuse your care. Go ahead.
And might some of the insurance companies pick that up and say, gee, we'll have to cancel your private insurance if you're not current on your vaccinations under the new government guidelines.
Yes, and there's also federal standardization in there to where the government says it's part of policy that you have to take an implantable chip while you're in the hospital. That is in the bill. I appreciate your call. Good point. Brian in Canada. Brian, you're on the air.
Hello, Alex Jones. How are you doing today?
Good. Thanks for holding.
The reason I'm calling is because I have a solution to not only the healthcare bill but many other things, and I wanted to share that with you today.
Go ahead.
Okay, the first thing that I wanted to let people know is that there's been a lot of emotion stirred up through this recent passage of that bill on yesterday, and I just wanted to say that it's time for calm. I wanted to say the Bible says, "Thou shalt not follow a multitude to do evil." Exodus 23:2. So, first of all, just it's time for calm, not for getting violent.
Well, wait. I mean, nobody's calling for violence here, but if your house is on fire, I mean, God says get up off your butt and get out of the house.
Yeah, that's right. But on Facebook, I have noticed
a lot of them. What verse that is, but go ahead.
Okay. So what I've done is on Friday, I was inspired to write a sample letter to congressmen, and you are right when you say that the battle is within the states. It's not with the federal government anymore. It's with the states. That's where it will be won, I believe.
Well, how long's your letter, Brian?
There's 5 quick points. I don't have to read the whole thing, but I just want to...
All right, we'll come back. Hit those quick. I want to get to Don, Matt, Damon, and others. 1-800-259-9231. I'm Alex Jones. Don't forget, 2 new trailers for 2 new films coming out in April. Watch them at Infowars.com. We'll be right back.